So we're here for episode 10 of Smoking and Rapping. I got my cousin Chevy Crocker here from Brandy Park, Oakland, California with me. This episode we're gonna get into being a rapper from Oakland, California, but mainly being a rapper from Brandy Park. It's a difference, you feel me? If you ever been to Brandy is like its own little hood town inside of Oakland, you feel me? It's only one way in, one way out. This motherfucker. It's not like your normal hoods where it's a block or some shit like that. It's a whole neighborhood in this motherfucker. So before we get into all of that shit, I want to get in, like, how long have you actually been rapping?
Well, professionally, I could say since '98, when I really started taking it hella serious. I was rapping before that, but in '98, I got signed to a label, and that's when I really started.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And then what label was that shit?
Relentless Records. It was my big homie from Brandy, actually. He had put out J-Dub, and then he ended up signing me and my partner Maine to it, and these other two dudes as another group. So he had us two groups at the same time.
Okay, yeah, I remember you talking about that shit a couple of, y'all was on the road and shit like that, like in the South and shit like that and shit. Okay.
Yeah, we went on a little promotional tour and all that shit.
So you said 90 what?
98.
98. So shit, that's damn near 2 decades. Damn near 2 decades in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So nigga, 2 decades in this shit, who would you say within those 2 decades some of the biggest people you've had the privilege to be able to be around, work with, do shows or record with? Legends, new motherfuckers, whatever, you know?
A gang. Like on our first project back then, my the big homie who put us out, he was hella close with Tony Draper. So when we went on our little tour, we got to go down there and meet 8 Ball and MJG and them. So we had 8 Ball on our first album, and we was fucking with Short and Banks and all them. And then after we stopped messing with him, and I kind of like got more serious, because at the beginning I was more getting like I was more just rapping.
Yeah.
Then I got to the point where I started learning the business and doing other stuff on my own, and then I started doing stuff with like more local rappers and stuff like shit.
Oakland rappers and shit like that. Yeah, that shit that's what I say probably the biggest thing to me that I learned ever since when I first came in this shit. You probably more than anybody I interviewed and shit probably seen up close and personal my whole, growth from this shit. But I would say that's probably like the biggest thing to know, bro, is the business part over the actual. Cause I feel like if you was like a mediocre rapper, but just knew how to put it out properly, you go still win. You go still be decent.
Yep. That's what it is. Once you start off thinking about rap, but then as it progresses into getting into it, you realize it's more of a business.
Yeah. Especially when you think about motherfuckers like Lil Dicky or like certain motherfuckers who you see they might come out with like one little song or 1 or 2 little songs that was popping, but after that shit they win off of so much other shit from TV shows to motherfucking whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fucking merch, whatever. Some motherfuckers win off the back end more than the actual music part because they know the fucking business. You feel me? Like for instance, I look at it like if a nigga putting this shit out and then you put that shit out, right, and you just put it out and you didn't put it out, even say if you just only put your shit out on, if you a motherfucker who just start rapping and you only put your shit out on SoundCloud, that's only gonna get you feel me, so far, you feel me?
Exactly.
Even though we all niggas know that shit take a lot of money to put your shit in the proper places. Like if a nigga was just to put your shit on Thizzler and Worldstar, you looking at 1,500 right there. That's not recording the video. That's not recording the song.
And it ain't guaranteed no money back. Really.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. You pretty much just putting that up there to say, here, look at me. I want you to see
it. It can, but it don't got to.
Yeah. If basic, I feel like the only niggas that see instant returns, because that's what I be trying to peep too, is like people who be making money just off only posting on Facebook or posting on Instagram or TikTok and shit like that. I feel like a lot of them motherfuckers, they just know how to make money off the back end because it's the sponsorships and hella little different deals that you doing. Yeah, like a motherfucker might just do TikTok wearing somebody's shit now. Because you got 1 million people on your TikTok now, they paying you just
because you like a commercial.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how a motherfucker could win off of that. Like you and your girl could just be posting regular shit. Y'all argue all the time. You feel me? And y'all just posting that shit.
That's because the game didn't change it to that now. It's more like, it used to really be more about the music. Now it's more about a brand.
Yeah.
You could sell yourself like
exactly. And not only just like even the little, remember the one dude who came out when he was trying to say he was 22 Savage, but I think that might have all been looking at it now, I think that was all a prank. Like all little joke, like I'm really a comedian, but this, if I do this, this is gonna gain headway for me, and you feel me? And that shit worked because
because 21 was popping at the time, so he just came with a gimmick.
and that little nigga, he's so big right now. My stepkids watch that nigga damn near every day, bro. He was just doing some little shit on his block. He took the kids. They all went to go get diamond grills and shit. So you know, from the little Asian dude on top of that, you feel me? So you know they motherfucking he making some money off that shit, and then fucking. I feel like it's probably easier out of anything to probably make money off of YouTube though. That's the easiest one to track down how you can start getting paid. It's right there. It's the paid partnership with YouTube. You feel me? That's the easiest one. Any other shit, I feel like you gotta really strategize how you gonna make that money, or you just know the right motherfuckers too. Cause
it's just really all about knowing how the shit work. Like, cause it's easy to jump into it, period, but if you don't really know what's going on, you'll just be in it and not really benefit.
Exactly. And okay, so what would you say, getting off of that, what would you say, well, speaking of like benefit from it and jumping in it, what would you say is the biggest downfall of Sobrani, like with, because if you've been to Sobrani, if you know rapper from Sobrani, it's so many different talented people here, but sometimes I feel like they get satisfied with just being popular in Sobrani.
Local,
you know?
That's pretty much it. It just ain't really easy to get worldwide attention, but it's like the way Oakland is set up, it's like you can have hella people know you out here, but you still can be not known right in the next state. Like, so it just levels of success depending on how you work it. And
I feel like, and that shit's trindles all the way down to big motherfuckers, because you could just be in Texas and like, if we could say here, the biggest motherfucker you gonna probably bring up is 40, Too Short. If you bring up G-Eazy, they probably know G-Eazy, and that's only because of his ethnicity and because of the way he's been touring and the way he's been out there. You know?
The status they put him on.
But if you was to go to another state or something like that, you could probably be slapping some 40 and they probably really would not know.
I wouldn't necessarily say 40. I think 40 pretty well known, him and Short, but other than that, it's like a hit and miss with everybody else.
Yeah, it's like they might have heard,
and
but
probably like a Filthy. Filthy done got pretty popular lately, so it's...
I probably say maybe like Filthy and Mozzie, they probably get slapped in other little states and other little...
Mozzie actually shining right now. So yeah, both of them, they done moved up in the last couple of years.
I'd say that for sure. But I would still say that I feel like the numbers is astronomically different as far as the music from other people that we play in Cali versus how they play Cali rappers in other places.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's crazy? It's like out here, it's more of a, we play our local people and stuff, but we more play a lot of like what the radio play in a lot of spaces out here.
Yeah.
And in other places, they do that too, but then it's a lot of places that really play people from where they from.
Yeah, you really just hear yourself on the radio right there on your local shit.
Yeah,
it might not even have paid.
Yeah, no, they just support.
yeah.
I think that's the difference between us and other people. We don't really have a home radio station where a local artist can just go up there like, man, this is my new shit.
Support me.
Yeah. Other places do that.
Yeah,
it's harder to get on out here because of that. We more like
it's the bag out here.
Yeah,
because even if you think about it, a nigga like Filthy was complaining for a long ass time, like, why they not playing me on the radio?
And they wasn't.
You feel me? Like,
he had to really get. In fact, I feel like they really didn't play him until he did that song with I Am Sue.
Yeah.
And then it was
and it's kind of like every now and then now you hear him a little bit more regular. And it's like I feel like it's fucked up because that's like our main resource kind of to a certain extent.
That's a downfall for us. That's what make it harder out here.
Yeah. If they was playing that's the reason why a motherfucker from right here in Oakland would be slapping somebody else from hella far just because they hear them more.
That's because what they play.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna go do a TikTok to somebody's song that's from motherfucking Connecticut or Indiana or wherever, you know what I'm saying?
It's so crazy because if you'll fuck around and go somewhere else in the Midwest or Kansas or something, and they'll be playing some Bay Area shit more than us.
Yeah.
Like, even, not even that far. Like, when I used to stay in Vegas, the radio station used to be playing hella Mac Dre, Fab, all that shit. They had like a little time where that shit came on.
Yeah.
We don't even have that in our own
segment.
Yeah, we don't even got that ourselves.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
But see, I just speaking of Mac Dre, bro, I would say honestly, in my opinion, Mac Dre is, if Mac Dre was still alive, I think a lot of that shit would be very different.
It would, because
You know?
he was on some trying to make us big, like
globally for the Bay, you
For
feel me?
period,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, you feel me? Think about that. If Dre's still alive,
it'll be hella more people on this, and that'll
Hell
be
yeah.
like the big label for us.
for the Bay, and then
Yeah.
you kind of can just get, you could be a Bay Area rapper and get signed at this, and that kind of would have been like big still,
yeah,
even though it's
exactly.
still like, that's still
It's
some
still
big shit.
local, but they would have been controlling this shit.
And by this time we talking, bro, that shit would have been like probably some QC shit,
Yeah, for sure.
but just for the Bay, you know,
Mhm.
for sure. And we would have had some little cool momentum with that shit.
Because that's how you gotta think about it. Like, look at Atlanta. They really, you can go to, if you were from Atlanta, you can get on in Atlanta and be on though.
And be on right there.
Yeah, because
It's a reason why niggas like Lil Baby and they be millionaires in a year or two.
Yeah.
Nigga be rapping out here for a long time before a nigga start even feeling like he even
Seeing any kind of money progress.
yeah. Fuck the money, even just to feel like niggas is paying attention consistently.
Yeah.
You feel me? Just like you could put some, it's like now, bro, in my opinion, the bet is fucked up, but the new shit you gotta do is wild, outlandish shit
Yeah.
to get people to click on it.
And that's so crazy. It's like everything but the rapping.
Yeah, even with this blog right here, right? I see my views and I'm like, I bet you if I did some crazy shit like bring a big ass blunt, like you feel me, hella big, or you feel me, have niggas taking crazy dabs with some 1000% TA. You feel me? You gotta do shit like that to make niggas click. Like, oh, what these niggas talking about? Yeah, and it's fucked up because I feel like a lot of people be putting out quality, real shit, and people just don't pay attention to it because
it ain't no gimmick to it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. But I feel like I stand my ground on that, and I just try to keep putting out consistently quality shit as to put out, instead of just putting out wild, crazy shit.
Because
you know?
really, if you stay at it, eventually it's gonna catch on. It just might take longer.
Yeah. Because you get on overnight.
What you doing?
Yeah.
With
with
the
a
people
prank or
with the
something.
prank or something, they get on overnight, but it probably don't last long.
Yeah, if you
That's
don't,
the
and
difference.
it makes it to where you gotta kind of keep doing that.
Exactly.
You feel me? And that might not have been what you really wanted
And
to do.
it's taken away from exactly. Like if you an artist, but you just keep doing this cat shit to get on, you're gonna just be really known for the cat shit.
Exactly.
There's
Like
gonna
a
be people
6ix9ine
gonna
type
look at
nigga.
it like, oh, this nigga rap. You like, that's what the hell I've been doing.
Exactly. Just like a 6ix9ine type motherfucker, where it's just like you using the clout to get people to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, you really doing it because you want the popularity, so then they talking about you, so then that leads to them clicking on your music.
Yeah.
Which, if your music is quality, I feel like that's cool. But I feel like too, that whole way of getting on is becoming watered down.
Yeah, it is. And it just don't, it's a way that's quick but don't last long. Like you might be on for a year and then all of a sudden we don't hear from nothing.
And then you kind of become known as that, like the Cash Me Outside girl, or the, you know what I'm saying? You just known for doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
and then when you try to drop some of your real music that means something to
They
you,
might not
they
pay
ain't
attention.
feeling it because they like, oh, well, I know you for this. Like,
exactly. Because even the Boo Gang dude, he kind of did that shit. And if you listen to some of his shit, some of his like shit is decent. Not all of it, but some of his music is decent. But the thing about that nigga is he be getting views though. That nigga do be getting views. And that's what that's what be, it's like, I feel like for me, if I can get if you was able to work up to a consistent like 1,000 to 2,500, 1,000 to 10,000 on the regular, that's hella good.
Yeah.
These niggas be doing like millions, bro. And I look at what I look at is the when it came out.
yeah.
So how fast did you do that million?
Yeah.
Some people, they can drop and do like millions overnight, nigga.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just our popularity.
Like, you feel me? Like, think about, I want to say, who right now is a big social media, like got social media a lot. Say somebody who just around here who I say will put something on social media and people actually pay attention to it, you see the numbers consistently, is somebody like Fab. Fab could just put a little clip of him talking about the day and it's gonna have 40,000 likes, how many ever views, a couple thousand comments, but that's every single time. So when your platform grows to that, I feel like you've done yourself justice as far as creating a platform that now you can broadcast so many different things, you know? It's like what's going on right now with the world. If you have a large enough platform, you can actually help get the message across of what is going on in the world, right, you know? And people will actually listen and actually take that information in, you know, because I feel like people's fans, your real personal fans who really watch you on the regular and really tune in on the regular, really value your opinion.
They do.
They value your opinion more than their parents majority of the time if they're younger, or even somebody who closer to them, because they look at it as if you made it to where they kind of trying to get to. So your opinion on life and your opinion on what's going on in the world is valuable to them because you've already done what they're trying to do.
Exactly. That's like, I ain't never really had no super big fan base, but the fan base I have, I've noticed them, and I noticed they really pay attention. Like,
consistently.
Yeah. Like the people who fuck with me been fucking with me, so it's like it ain't really got hella big, but it's been constant with the people who do fuck with me.
And that's all. And I've always said that too. If you can get if you can just get a certain amount of people that always listen to it, always buy it, always show up, that's more valuable than a couple thousand people that every now and then listen to it just because it's got some views right now. You know, fuck that. People need to be more genuine fans now to your local artists and really support them consistently as far as us growing out of this motherfucker, you know? And buying that shit and listening to it all the time, because streaming, I feel like that's what it helps us to be like, you're not asking people to physically
buy it.
Reach in their pocket. That's it. All you gotta do is literally click on the song. Now a stream is only cents on the dollar, yes, but if you listen to it and you like it and you tell another person about it, those are gonna eventually lead to more and more streams, more and more money. Because I put out my shit through DistroKid. I want to say they give you like what, 1 cent every stream, or it's I think 10 cents, 1 to 10 cents, something like that, in between there. So you have to do the math on how many streams you really need to actually see sufficient money from that shit. It's in the thousands easily, but you need like 100,000 people on the regular that listen to that shit all the time, or at least 50 to 100,000.
And they really play it multiple times. Though.
Then you can click on there and see like, okay, now the money is growing. Like, if you don't really have a major fan base, even with putting out music, even with streaming it and not asking people to buy it, your return, if your return on lack of promotion, even with quality promotion, sometimes it's still not that big because how cheap they paying us on the stream.
And what it is right now, the game just switched so much that people attention span is so short that you really gotta have some kind of promotion behind your shit. Like, it's really like, and you can't take as long to drop videos as you used to. You got really every 2 weeks, damn near every month, at least one a month. And the cool part about that is that's not cheap, especially if you're not bringing in no money. It's like, I'm just waiting, I'm keep on doing this. But
it kind of, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I was like, you kind of, to become a rapper, you kind of like you just paying your way in, and you kind of like just paying for people. You paying for people's attention with hoping that they like what you put out so that they can continue to keep watching it. But like you said, that shit is a very small minimal guarantee, and people's attention deficit is so small, you have to damn near put when you put out a video, you got to make the first 30 seconds of that video fucking attractive, so that they be like, okay, let me keep watching this shit. Like, motherfuckers is not. It's not easy to keep motherfuckers to continuously watch shit and continuously listen to your shit if you're not talking that gang shit, if you're not talking money shit, if you're not talking street politics and all that shit, and talking that street politics, if you're not really in that shit, could lead to death, could lead to a lot of other bullshit. And that's what I feel like a lot of these motherfuckers who be doing that street rapping shit, like just talking about guns and violence and all that shit, you better really be about that fucking lifestyle, bro, because it's motherfuckers that's gonna come for you, bro.
Yeah, and the cool part about it is like 70% of them is not.
Exactly.
It's
a gimmick,
to stay character for the money.
Exactly.
I mean, I understand because people need to make money, but it's just not genuine.
It's not.
And then you'll have somebody who is genuine and they're not paying attention to him because he probably not catting off as much as the other nigga.
Exactly. Because he really living
like
he
really doing some shit.
Somebody I'll say, what's the nigga's name? What's the nigga name? The rapper nigga from Texas, the pimp nigga, fucking goddamn Sauce Walker, right?
Yeah.
He's somebody who I say the industry does that too. Where he's talented, he can easily be bigger than he is, but because he really does what the fuck he's talking about, people kind of shine away. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like, okay, nigga, you really do that shit.
But
so
see, you know what's so crazy? Like out there where he from, it's like hella bigger. So his being on in Texas is really like on.
Yeah. It's still like bigger than being on here.
His local artist is like feeding him still.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Being local in Texas is kind of like still being mainstream to a certain extent because the music industry there. It's damn near like, even Atlanta. Like you can be a small rapper in Atlanta and only be popular in Atlanta, but still have money and still be living a decent life.
And they still do a lot of shows because it's hella little small venues.
Yeah, strip clubs and hella little shit. Yeah.
And it's like that's what they beating us with. We don't really got that.
The college tours they beating us with too.
We don't
surely
really
the
got
black
that.
college tours and all that shit, they beating us over the head with that.
But what I can say is somebody from out here that get a little popular, once you start leaving Cali and going other places, you'll start seeing your money. It's like it's just hard to eat just being here.
Yeah, just staying here, you're not going, and that's kind of like you shoot yourself in the foot trying to do that anyways. It's trying to just only eat in Oakland because it's only so much money here. And me being myself as a promoter, I know that Oakland promoter is only going to be willing to give up so much money because you know it's not a big guarantee that you're going to do crazy numbers.
And we don't really got the big spots like somewhere out there down south or something. They local spot might be hella big.
Yeah.
So you looking at some thousands of people who can fill this up, and they do happen. Where you come out here and that same spot only can hold a couple hundred people.
Exactly. And that shit ain't shit when you talk about the numbers. You got to charge niggas $50 to make real money off shit like that. But all right, getting into fucking more as far as like sobriety politics and shit like that, who would you say right now in sobriety is somebody who's making noise on the music scene that might actually like break down the door and get out and make more, leave the door open for other motherfuckers sobriety to motherfucking try to.
I mean, it's a few, but it's like what it is everybody's like success is on a different level. Like somebody like for instance, I'll say somebody like 4-Way She's, who he ain't really put out hella shit, but the shit he did put out got numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it'd be different. Like what I can say is I see the game kind of then switch to where depending on what you're talking about, you can be more popular now. Like it's it ain't really like it's a lot of people still looking for substance, but really it's a lot of people who ain't tripping on substance no more. Like
people think it's more or less the glitz and the glamour.
Exactly.
And how good can you talk about the glitz and the glamour?
Exactly.
So if you could have a couple bands, pull out a foreign, put on some nice clothes, and kind of play with your words.
Yeah. and afford to do a video every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That really matters. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed when I was really on my hype and I dropped like 4 videos in a quick span, people really was paying attention to that. Like, oh, I woo woo woo, and you know, I just didn't keep it up though, because like I said, I'm just spending money and not really seeing it hella back.
Because putting out a video ain't no, you just, that's promotion damn near. Really, a video is kind of just promotion for, okay, it's like you see this video, you like this video, go stream the rest of this shit on iTunes or something, you know?
Yeah.
And that's,
I could say that project probably let me see the most money, but I didn't really, if I would have stayed on it, it probably would have paid off more, but staying on it is constantly spending money too, so.
And if you're using your own money, you have to balance out bill money, music money,
exactly,
and just
money,
all that shit. And you gotta pick sometimes a wise decision.
Yeah, promotion money it ain't even no cap to that, so it's like, man,
it's every day, it's endless, and I feel like too, that's the main thing I paid attention to. Even with trying to sell merch, we're trying to sell merch and we're trying to push music. With the way you gotta promote now, it's actually gotta be so strategic to who you're actually marketing to see it.
Exactly.
Like, you can't really just market to the people who you want to buy it all the time, who you think, or at least who you think is gonna come buy it all the time. You gotta market to the people with the money. You gotta market. Sometimes you might gotta, if you got a logo and it's not selling to the adults, sometimes you gotta trick it out and sell it to the kids. You know, you gotta play the game the way it's meant to be played, but play it properly to where you're not shooting yourself in the foot and becoming watered down in the shit you putting out, you know? Yeah,
one thing I can say I just seen in the last few years, the industry have got bigger to where it's like almost categories. Like, you got your younger rappers, you got your older rappers, but it's like a market for everybody now.
Yeah.
It's because you got older fans now.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like the young teenager and the young teenager from the ages of like 16 to like 22 is a big market right now, and then the female rapper.
Oh yeah, for
those two right now, if you have in their quality, like, and I feel like that's because if you got a young nigga and he talking about a lot of that gang shit, it's a little bit more believable, because you might, it's like, okay, your young ass probably really out there doing that shit. When you a grown ass man, 40, 50, or 40, 35, and you talking about guns, if you really in that life, okay, that's fine, whatever. But that shit is, I feel like sometimes it's not as attractive to people, because they're like, damn, nigga, shouldn't you be on some other shit by now? Or shouldn't you mute? Because even for me, with my second project, I try to like base projects off of what I'm going through in life at that time. So, okay, my first project was all grown up. I was going through transition to like actually getting out on my own and developing. I was in my early 20s, so I'm getting out of life and really developing, understanding bills and having my own shit and maintaining life. Two, chasing the money bag. I'm big on chasing the bag at that time. I'm on the road, I'm doing hella different shit. So at that time, that's what it's all about. Right now, if I was to start working on a project, it would be elevating to some more of a grown man shit. And that's why I don't be just dropping as much shit now, because I try to, if I'm a drop now, I want it to be based on a little more lyrically and be more of a fluid song.
Or have more substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how it is. I feel you on that, because it's like, I'm working on a project right now with my cousin Cali Black. He doing all the beats for it. And it's coming together. It's going to be a little short project. It ain't going to be big. But I noticed it's more just, it's more subject based. It's like
more storytelling.
I'm not just rapping. It's like every song is kind of like about something.
Yeah.
And then, let's just make it different. But like I said, nowadays it's a market for everything. It's like it's so
it's some older niggas who gonna listen to that and to be like, okay, I felt that.
Fans who grew up with you who still like rap. So it's like, I'm not really pushing for the little people. Like, if they like it, that's a plus. But I'm really pitching for my market. So
and I feel like probably that's what an older nigga who's rapping about a lot of street shit, that's kind of probably what they are doing, is just pushing for the younger crowd. And that shit is cool because that's who's gonna consistently buy merch and that's gonna actually come to the shows on the regular.
Yeah.
An older person is gonna have the obligation, oh nigga, I got work tomorrow, I might not come, I might go, you know. So I understand that shit too. But I feel like too, when you actually start to channel in your inner writer and start to actually listen to the flow of the beat and actually put quality lyrics onto some shit, I feel like as a rapper you become you hear that and you like, okay, yeah, this some good, this some good shit. And you hear the flow, you hear that flow, and you can hear your growth in that shit because it's very easy to be an ABC rapper. Yeah. You know, I'm chilling with my niggas, we riding the phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right, it's very easy. If you got some guns, if you got some niggas, if you got a couple bands and some little bitches, it's not really that hard to push that. You know, it's very easy. I feel like everybody's kind of like pushing that. You know,
the difference is though, like if you an older rapper and you pushing that, you gonna have the little niggas pushing it at the same time, and more than likely that's who they gonna pay attention to. Yeah,
exactly. Way more than you.
Yeah.
And that shit is big, but I feel like it will help. It will grow. Your music will end up. The good thing about iTunes and all that shit is, say if you was to put out a project later in life, and it was just some good ass shit, and people would really gravitate to it, and happened to just do crazy numbers, that other shit is still there.
Exactly.
So no matter what, if you are a real fan,
you gonna go look for this.
And you're gonna hear all of it, and you're still, you know, it's endless money. That's one thing that I said that's cool about actually really putting your music out.
Yeah.
Is that once it's actually really out and you're actually making money off of it, you're making money off of it forever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
because you can push it. Like right now, my plan, I'm gonna go back and shoot some videos for some projects that I've been had out because I just didn't do it, you know,
enough promotion.
And might pick up the sales back to that.
Yeah.
Because in actuality, hella people still ain't heard it. Like, you know, so it's
how many overall in that 2 decades you've been rapping? How many projects have you put out?
Not a hella, but after the Scandals of Conniving, I really didn't put out nothing for a while, and then I started putting out solo shit. So as I've been solo, I kind of put out about 6 or 7 projects altogether.
All on like actual digital platforms.
Yeah.
Okay. And
straight, totally independent, like just myself, like, you know, what I'm saying, learning, like start learning the business and just like take it upon myself. So it's like,
and I say, knowing you as your cousin, you got a good relationship with Fab. How did that relationship come about to where he actually he a phone call away, where you actually get the phone, call him and talk to him about how his family is doing?
Just on some it started off just on some rap shit. Like when I was before he was big, we used to be rapping at the same club, Old School Mingles, doing like every week. I think it was like a Tuesday night or something. We all used to be in there rocking that motherfucker. So we got cool from back then.
Okay.
And then once he kind of like got his foot in the door and got big, he just always still fucked with me.
Okay.
And then shit, that's how I ended up putting out the project with him, which is my best project of today as far as what I seen back from it. So
okay. Oh yeah, that was a project where he wasn't really on the project that much or nothing like that. It was just like he promoted it for you or something like that, right?
No, he was on 2 songs, plus he did my little
interludes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so you said doing it that way, and you probably say out of anything you've done, that shit numbers wise.
No, yeah, I seen the most money off of it.
Okay.
I actually seen a return off of it.
Okay.
Like, where I was like, oh yeah, that makes a difference. So
make a difference. Nigga actually saw a couple dollars.
Yeah.
That's just good though, because anytime you can fucking make money off of this shit is a blessing. Cause even for me, like I have trays, I have shirts, I got some masks getting made right now. Sometimes you catch yourself sitting on that shit.
Yeah.
But you don't get as mad because it's kind of you kind of just know it's just money sitting there. You know, it's money sitting there.
And it seems like nowadays that's what it's about. It's like you can't just be a rapper. You gotta have something.
Others
I'm selling
going.
this.
Yeah.
I'm selling this. I'm selling this, and that's what this other shit might get popping harder before the rap.
Yeah.
It's just how the game is. It's more of a business now.
Exactly. If you play it right, you kind of put yourself in a position to have a one up, because once if you're a person who know how to play the game and know the business of the game before you actually get a major deal or something like that, you're gonna walk into those meetings with a lot more confidence versus somebody who you don't have no money yet. You don't have any shit going
you
before
walk
you
into
yet.
them meetings feeling like I really don't need you. So
Exactly.
what you got to say?
Yeah, what are you really offering me at this point?
Because I could keep doing what I'm doing.
and keep getting all the money.
Exactly.
You know, and that's a big difference, bro, from somebody who signs to somebody and continues to go to what's old boy, the light skinned dude with the fucking, what's his name, man? Damn. Not the little light skinned dude, one more label try to stop me, the little light, he's strictly independent, bro. I can't think of his name right now.
From Chicago.
Yeah. He's strictly, I mean, at some point now he probably has, you know, he's probably signed some type of distribution deals and shit like that. But as far as all that shit he was doing, those crazy numbers he was doing, he did all that shit independent.
Exactly.
And that's why he had to go turn around and make that song, because it's like, niggas, they once the labels know that, they like, hold on, niggas, we ain't getting none of this.
It's like, why do I need you?
Like,
and the way the game is right now, it's like a label, they can do some things for you, but you, like you said, you can really do everything yourself if you got a team with you.
Yeah, proper team and a little and a little bit of, not a little bit of money, but the proper amount of money and the proper people behind you.
Really
you can go, you can do the numbers.
Exactly.
And I would say a big portion of it too is depends on if you got any like gang ties, or if you, depending on what actual neighborhood you actually are from. So say like if you are a rapper from Oak Park and you start to rap and you really push that Oak Park shit, people are gonna click on that more than somebody who's just your average rapper from, you know, a regular little city or something like that, you know? It's a difference, because you saying I'm from the same hood as this nigga who's up here, you know what I'm saying? So,
and they want to check you out just because of that.
Exactly.
And then don't let you be able to get him on a song too or
something. Exactly. So then it's like, okay, nigga, you really from there, you really tied in, it's real. Now the numbers is gone, you ain't gonna have to worry, you know?
And you know what, that's another difference between other places in here. It's like if I was from Atlanta, my local friends who rap or something probably gonna be big. So if they come jump on a song with me, it's a super plus. Then both of us jumping on the song together and we both trying to get on. There's a difference than he jump on the song with me and everybody know who he is and they like, oh, you fuck with him?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that shit is not, and I feel like out here, you probably, being a rapper from Oakland, you probably know like 1 to 2 big motherfuckers, like who you could really call on for actual paper, but they still gonna charge you. That's probably another difference where I feel like here versus Atlanta. Atlanta, if you cool with the Migos, paperwork wise, you gonna have to pay some money. You gonna have to do some shit. But they gonna help you out. You know, here a nigga want that bag, bro. And a lot of people want more than they really worth.
Exactly.
And I feel like people don't pay attention to continuous money. So if I hop in your DMs and I'm trying to pay you for a feature, or I'm trying to pay you for a show, if you highball me, and even if I paid that one time, and you don't do numbers like that, right? Now I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of shined away from that.
Feeling like you got me.
But if you kind of like work with somebody and you cut them a little deal, because a lot of that shit when you paying for features and a lot of that other shit, it don't matter who the fuck name you put on it if the other artist that's on it doesn't share it as well.
Exactly.
A lot of the artists think we paying for their name, but it's not that good.
No, we need the whole thing.
The whole
because
your
if I'm
fans on your
constantly
page, all
pushing,
that
I got a
shit.
song with him, and you don't never say nothing about it.
They don't think it's that good.
It's like, damn.
Or they don't think that, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's like now it's looking like you just got me for some money.
Exactly. And it be a lot of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit. A lot of these niggas, shit, a nigga might even give a nigga an old verse.
Yeah.
Anything, you know? And people need to be okay with taking a couple hundred to 1,000 for a fucking verse or a show. Not because that's not your worth, nigga, but because that's gonna lead to niggas being able to do more shows. If one promoter has enough money to do one big ass show, and he does that one big ass show and it flops, he's fucked. Now you don't have a promoter around that's putting y'all on shows no more.
Exactly.
If you got a nigga that's around that's putting niggas that you know consistently on shows, nigga, you jug them. So then that way it's like, okay, that's consistent business. It just so happens that some people you do that with, they grow, and yeah, you have to grow with what they asking for, but you know, nigga, okay, you asking for more money, I'm gonna make more money.
Exactly.
But it can start as okay, I'm gonna give you this, nigga, and you gonna and we gonna see how much money a motherfucker's really making. And if niggas really making money, we gonna keep doing this shit in different cities and shit.
Yeah.
Niggas will take your little niggas would be like, nigga, I want 2,500 to come to Turlock. Like, nigga, you know damn good and well.
And you know, like I was just saying earlier, we ain't in the South with these big ass clubs.
Yeah, exactly. They hold about 300 people.
Fuck around and make 20,000 at the door.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand. We finna. Whoa, nigga, we
ain't
working
like,
with this 2,500.
Exactly. if you giving a nigga 2,500, you gonna have to get a club another 1,000 or 2, nigga. Then you gonna have to get your DJ an easy 5. So now we saying we just spent $5,000 to throw a party with the hopes of making 10 in Oakland. Come on, bruh. But the rapper don't care because he like, nigga, I got paid, period. Whatever you make is on you, nigga. I got my money, and if I get there and you ain't sold no tickets, I still want what the fuck you owe me, nigga. Yeah. Period. Nigga, that shit be
cold game.
Cold game.
They will whoop you. and I done been to some shows with a headliner and shit and got there and that motherfucker was empty because some promoters don't promote.
They don't promote right. They don't promote at all. They think just because you got this nigga on there,
name, oh, they coming.
Hell no, nigga.
And you gotta remember that you in competition with this club over here. Probably got somebody, or
exactly, or they might got better bitches going there.
Or you probably pay for the cheap day. You probably got this shit joined on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And everybody like, oh, I can't go out tonight.
You gotta do that in Vegas.
Yeah.
You can't do that in your regular especially on the weekday out here. You know how expensive niggas rent is, nigga.
Yeah.
Niggas like, bro, I want to go out and support people, and I feel like that's probably the main thing we fight as far as trying to get people to actually support when it comes to spending money. Is my bills are hella high if you live here. If you live here and you live on your own, your bills are extremely high. So you have to really pick and choose what money you choose to spend on something that's not a necessity. Exactly. And especially if you have kids and all that shit. And I feel like I feel like me getting that is why I have switched the way I push it out now as far as merch. I don't go to big stores to get my stuff made anymore. Yeah. I don't go to Copy World or Big Print or any of that shit. Yeah. I go through independent people who do it right at their house. Exactly. So that way I can get it for cheaper and I can sell it for cheaper. And then
if it take longer, it ain't, you don't got hella money, just tie it up.
Exactly. Like I literally got 10 trays made. I'm getting 12 masks made. I'll probably turn around and get 10 guy shirts and 10 female shirts made. Yeah. And then that way it also opens up the door for me to have a variety of shit. As to where I'm not just stuck with, I just got 100 shirts, nigga. I got 100 shirts with the logo on them. Come grab them. Yeah. Everybody's not gonna like that one thing.
And that's the shit where you'll be fucked up because you'll be somewhere like, I got these shirts. They be like, oh, I thought you had to trade.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you gotta just shit. I'm trying to get it to where I pop the trunk and it's like a little borderline store. You got a couple socks, you got a couple trays, t-shirts, man bags, hats, whatever. So that way you got variety and it's like, okay, let me get that little bag, let me get the socks for my son, or, you know, because everybody like different shit. Yeah. And then you give a little varieties like that, and it helps. And not only with doing that, you are also creating a consistent revenue for the mom and pops. So for people who do that shit, who print up at their own house or record at their house or any of that type of shit, I feel like it's a lot better to keep the money fluctuating in that circle, especially more if it's black owned as well. Yeah. So that way it's like, okay, I spent my $100 with bruh to get these shirts made from him. Then he gonna turn around and go spend his with another black owned company to get some more t-shirts. Yeah. Then I'm gonna go sell these to black people, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And vice versa, and that way the dollar just keeps circulating. And it's very hard to do because we know in certain neighborhoods the black dollar is not that large. Yeah. But I feel like even if you just start networking with the right people, you'll find out some connects that work. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly. Because it's there, but you might just don't reach out to it. It might, you might just know the Chinese dude who do this, and you like, fuck it, I'm fucking with him. Exactly. But, and it's easier. It's for me, the only thing you lose out on with going through independent people is timing. Yeah. They tend to do it on their schedule, as what their work schedule is, what they have going on in their life, stuff like that. With going to a straight business, that's their business. Yeah, it'll be ready the next day or two. Yeah. That's the only thing I'll probably say. But at the same time, with how the price difference, it don't really matter, because it's like, okay, fuck it, I'm not paying as much, so I can wait a little longer. Yeah, because now, when you buy it that cheap, you have the option to say, okay, if I like my trays, for instance, I get my trays at $10, right? I only turn around and sell them for $15 as opposed to $25. Yeah. I could sell them for $25 and make that much if I wanted to, but why do that when I could say, okay, I'm making $5 off every tray anyway, so I'm getting that $10 back to go get another one, and I'm making $5. Yeah. It's my 25 go take long. Yeah, exactly, because motherfuckers gonna be like 25 for a tray. Yeah. Shit, I gotta get the weed to roll up still too. Motherfucker, you know, probably get as many sales, but it ain't gonna be much. You gonna get a lot of, all right, I'll be back. Yeah, exactly. So fucking getting into right now, where can people contact you at, look for more of your music at, follow you on social media, any of those type of things? Shit, I don't. As far as that, everything, all you gotta do is put in Chevy Crocker. My whole catalog will come up. So I got all that. Instagram Chevy Crocker, Facebook Chevy Crocker, period. So I'm basically doing everything independent. So it's gonna come up all under that. All under Chevy Crocker. New, I probably got 2 more projects I'm working on that I'm gonna drop, and then after that I'm down there hanging it up probably. Yeah. I'm not, but see, I love music, so it's not gonna be a total over, but as far as like rapping wise, yeah, I might still, like, my goal is to probably find a young artist and really push them for the mistakes I made. Yeah. Make sure they don't make them and do some shit. And really, I want to get a studio to where I could just have one to work in, because I still love music whether I'm doing it professionally or not. So if I had a studio, and then that'd be easier for me to grab a little young artist and see what I'm gonna do with them and all that. So try to put it. I mean, shit, that's wherever. That's where niggas try to get to in the game, anyways. At some point, shit, you got to, because that creates a revolving door as far as, like you said, you love the music, you still want to be around it. It's like being a football player and you don't play football no more. Now you just start training motherfuckers and shit, or a coach or something. Now you get turned over. Yeah, and it's like being in it for so long and making so many mistakes. It's like I know them now, so it's like, if I could start over myself, I would do a lot of shit different. So I just got to show that to somebody else. Yeah. And I feel like majority of people would. I feel like for me, the only thing I can say looking back, thus far, I've been in the industry only about 5 years. Probably I have had money and not just put it in the right places as far as promotion. Yep. That's probably the only thing I can say I can look at it and say I fucked up on. Like, if I would have put a couple videos on World Star, if I would have put a couple more videos on Thizzler, and had right? Had I known about the sponsoring your promotion, sponsoring your like post on like Instagram and Facebook and all that shit back then, I think cause I've done a lot of big shit, a lot of big parties even from X Fest, a lot of that shit, putting out the videos from all that shit, you know, those, you know, they would do like a couple hundred, but if I was putting the promotion behind them, like it would be a lot more people seeing the parties I was doing. It would have led to more people coming to a lot more parties. It would have led to, you know, a little bit shit like that. But besides that, I can say I'm not disappointed because I met hella people and got a lot of connects through that shit. So now it's easy for me to do this shit in the way I do it. Even for my blog, it's easy for me to reach out to people and say, hey, can you do this interview, blase, blase. And did all this shit with people. But I will say, even with knowing now how that shit works, it's still, you still have to be strategic in how you actually promote on fucking Instagram and Facebook. It can't just be every single post you put out, you fucking sponsor it. It's really just gotta be the good shit, sponsor the good shit. And then that's gonna make people come to the page and look at all the other shit, you know?
But you gotta have that eye catcher that really
to draw the motherfucker in. That's what the key is to getting the hella views on one. And another thing too is like, it's like y'all heard me say this shit before, is you gonna just keep running that same fucking post. As opposed to running a different post every day. You kind of just running that commercial every week. And every week you put another dub behind it. And
you gotta think about it, the way shit is now. It probably been hella people who skipped over it, but when they keep seeing it, they're gonna be like,
exactly.
This shit keep coming up.
I done seen this shit about 3 times in one day on my feed.
See what this is
exactly.
Now.
Well, shit, man. That was episode 10 of Smoking and Rapping. We got up to about an hour, but we got some good game for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Make sure y'all tune in to Chevy Music. And make sure if y'all got anybody who want to be on this blog, on this show, make sure y'all tell them to tap in, bro. It's not, you don't have to wait for me to hit you up. You can easily hit me up and say, let me come tell my story, man. So I look to you, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to hit y'all with episode 11 next week, man. That was episode 10.
For sure.